Hello, welcome to Microsoft Azure Quiz 4. This quiz has questions about Azure SQL Database. Each question has multiple choice answers. All these Microsoft Azure quizzes on my channel helps you to prepare for Azure interview, and also it helps you to prepare for Azure certification. Let's start the quiz. Question 1. Who is responsible for performing software updates on your Azure SQL databases and the underlying OS? Option A, you are. It's up to you to periodically log in and install the latest security patches and updates. Option B, Microsoft Azure. Azure manages the hardware, software updates, and OS patches for you. Option C, no one. Your database stays with its original OS and software configuration. Before we choose an answer, let's check each option. Azure SQL databases are a platform as a service offering. So when we choose platform as a service, Azure manages the hardware, software updates, and OS patches for us. When we choose IaaS infrastructure as a service, then we have to log in periodically and install the latest security patches and updates. Option B is the right answer because SQL database is platform as a service. So Azure manages the hardware, software updates, and OS patches for you. Question 2. What is an Azure SQL Logical Server? Option A, an administrative container for your databases. Option B, another name for an Azure SQL database instance. Option C, a server that defines the logical rules that sort and compare data. Option A, an administrative container for your databases. You can control logins, firewall rules, and security policies through the logical server. So option A is the right answer. Question 3. Your Azure SQL database provides adequate storage and compute power, but you find that you need additional I/O throughput. Which performance model might you use? Option A, DTU. Option B, vCore. Option C, SQL Elastic Pool. Let's talk about DTU. DTU, or Database Transaction Unit, provides a simple, pre-configured purchase option. To increase I/O throughput, you would need to move to a higher tier that also increases your storage and compute power, things you don't need. SQL Elastic Pools enable you to buy a set of compute and storage resources that are shared among all the databases in the pool. This option won't help with input performance because you are working with just one database. Option B is the right answer. vCore gives you greater control over what compute and storage resources you create and pay for. You can increase I/O throughput but keep the existing amount of compute and storage. Option B is the right answer. Question 4. Which of the following scenarios would likely benefit from a SQL Elastic Pool? Option A. You are hosting several SQL servers to track election data for a regional election. Option B. You are running a popular gaming website with customer data stored in an Azure SQL Server. Option C. You manage a cloud platform that tracks inventory for car dealerships. Let's talk about SQL Elastic Pool. What is a SQL Elastic Pool? SQL Elastic Pools are a resource allocation service used to scale and manage the performance and cost of a group of Azure SQL databases. Elastic Pools allow you to purchase resources for the group. You set the amount of resources available to the pool, add databases to the pool, and set minimum and maximum resource limits for the databases within the pool. Option C is the right answer. It's likely each dealership's data would be stored in a separate database. This scenario would likely benefit from elastic pools. Option C is the right answer. Question 5. True or false? You can add multiple SQL Elastic pools to a single Azure SQL Server. We just discussed about Azure Elastic Pool. So true. Answer is true. You can use multiple Elastic pools with a single server. Question 6. Why is the post-migration stage an important part of a successful migration plan? Option A, data accuracy and performance. Option B, schema validation. Option C, sync and cutover. Option A is the right answer, data accuracy and performance. In the post-migration phase, you validate that your data in the new system is accurate and complete, matching the data in the original source system. You compare the data with your original source system. Additionally, you can assess performance to ensure data is returned in the times outlined in your requirements documentation. Option A is the right answer. Question 7. What is the correct tool for doing an assessment? Option A, Data Migration Assistant. Option B, Azure Data Studio. Option C, Azure Database Migration Service. Option A is the right answer because Data Migration Assistant assess your existing database for any compatibility issues with Azure SQL Database and generates reports with recommended fixes. Question 8. What is the chief obstacle to performing online migration? Option A, the requirement of the freemium module for Azure SQL Database. Option B, online migrations are slower. Option C, online migrations require more personnel to complete. Option A is the right answer. The freemium model for Azure SQL Database is expensive. This cost can be a big obstacle to doing online migrations. Question 9. What is the best practice for doing migration? Option A, try to do an offline migration first. Option B, try to perform an online migration first. Option C, try to perform a manual migration first. Option A is the right answer. Try to do an offline migration first to see if it will run in an acceptable time frame that doesn't incur the cost of the premium database tier. Question 10. Which service is used to perform the data migration? Option A, Azure Database Migration Service. Option B, Data Migration Assistant. Option C, Azure Data Movement Service. Azure Database Migration Service is the right answer. Option A. Azure Database Migration Service is used to perform both offline and online data migrations. Question 11. You have created a new database in Azure SQL Database. When will the first full backup run? Option A, at midnight in the local region. Option B, immediately. Option C, when you manually run the backup. Option B is the right answer, immediately. You can do the first full backup run immediately. Question 12. Where are SQL Server backups stored by default? Option A, in the on-premises location that you specify. Option B, in a locally redundant storage account. Option C, in a read access geo redundant storage account. Option C is the right answer. SQL Server backup stored in read access geo redundant storage account. Thank you.